Hello everyone, it's your boy Niger Coder here, and I'm bringing you a latest clean application. We have the Live-Scores application, which takes all the data of all the matches going on live, and it shows it, displays it to the user. Now, what do we have here? You can see my man Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and you can see all the matches going on. And before I show you the individual matches, I want you to like this video and I want you to subscribe, because we have complex projects, simple project, terms and terminologies. We're talking about theories. We're creating projects from scratch, explaining everything we're using to create the project. For example, this project over here, we're using Tailwindcss, we're using DaisyUI, we're using RapidAPI, we are using Material UI, we are using React Router to create this amazing application. You can see over here, we have all the matches going on in the world currently. We have the score line, we have whether it's it's on halftime break, we have whether it's in the second half, and we also have whether it's in the first half. When you click on the match, for example here, these people are currently flogging them 2-0. When we click on the match, you can see the events of that match. You can see the goals scored by which players for which teams. For example, here my man Mikos has scored a goal on 4th minute for his team Sparta. And you can also see the first half score. If they're in the second half, you see the second half score. If they are doing penalties, you see the penalty score line. And you can also see the match details. For example, the stadium match, which the match is being played. This is the club friendly, so it's taking on around the world. It's in the 2023 season. And also, I'll be creating a separate video where you can also include payments into this application. I'll be using Flutterwave and Remitter. As you can see here, you can pay for the live odds. So if you're a betting man, you can see the odds for those matches. And we'll also be inputting the results of matches that have previously passed. So it's just an incredible application, very responsive, very accurate. It's also mobile responsive. You can see here, if you reduce the screen size, let's just go to the top, and it's really, you can see compress and show it very, very neatly. Yes, if we're increasing it, it's also increasing. Just an incredible application. You can see that. We also have the refresh icon over here in case the user is currently checking out the fixtures and he wants to see he wants it to be updated. You can just come and click on refresh and the entire page will reload and he will see the latest information. So you can see the refresh icon. It is there on every page in the application. So if he's also here, he can also refresh. It is just an incredible application. Now, I want you all to make sure you subscribe and like. I'm going to show you the full tutorial from scratch on how I designed this application. It's just an incredible application. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, you're going to have to create your React app. You can easily do that by npx create React app and then the name of your React application. So once you've done that, you go into the project. I've already done that, so you can see my setup is already intact. Once you do that, we're going to install Tailwindcss and DaisyUI. Now, in my package.json, I don't have any of that, so we're going to install it together. We're first going to install Tailwind. So you go over to the Tailwindcss website, get started. Okay, so we're just going to copy this, install this. And we're also going to use this, so let's just copy this. All right, so that's done. Paste this. And then over here, we will copy this as well. From here, from Tailwind here. Copy all of this out and paste this. Then we also need to come to our input CSS. We're just going to use this index CSS over here. We're just going to paste that at the top. All right, so let's npm start and see if our Tailwind CSS is working correctly. Okay. So that is still starting. Let's just type in here, hello world. Okay, sorry, hello world here. There's do margin 10. Doesn't seem to work. Let's remove this app. Okay, so I think it's working now. Let's do bg red 500. All right, so our Tailwind CSS has been installed successfully. We also need to install DaisyUI. Let's say we just need to choose this. Okay, come over here. We're going to cancel this. Then it also says in the Tailwind config file, the plugins we need to include DaisyUI. So we're going to go over to the Tailwind config file. I'm going to delete this and paste this. Exactly. All right, so I think our installation is done. Now we need to do just a little bit of changes to our main site before we can start fetching any data. So first things first, we're going to cancel this. Let's also cancel this. And we're going to need a nav bar. So we're going to come to our source. We're going to create a new folder and call it components. All right, so we're going to create a new file, navbar.js. Right, RFC. And just name this navbar. All right, so we're going to come to our DaisyUI. Now we're going to look for navigation bar here. Navbar. So you can just pick the one you like. I like this one, so I'm just going to pick this. I'm going to copy it. And I come here, I'm going to move this. And we're going to name this Live-Scores. Okay. All right, so let's check our application. This npm starts. Bow, 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 bow. Yes. Dude, this is just waiting a while to load. Okay. 202. Okay, so we forgot we need to also place our navbar here. So you can see live scores, but the background isn't how we want. We don't want a light background. We want it to be dark. So we're going to come over here and we're going to come over to themes. Now, we're going to come down here. You can see module export DaisyUI. We're going to copy this. We're going to go to our Tailwind CSS. Module exports. Okay, so we're going to paste this here. And we'll come back. So how do we use this? Yeah, we can just do this. We can come to our navbar. And we'll put this here. And voila. you can see it changed. It's looking very, very clean, very, very clean. Now that we have our navbar set up, we need to return to our main folder, and now we need to work with our live scores. And how are we going to get this live scores information? We're going to go over to RapidAPI. RapidAPI, yes. Now, over on RapidAPI, I've already created my account. All you need to do is just create your account, and you are good to go. Now, what we want to use is the football API. So we're just going to copy APIs. We're just going to search for API. We're just going to say live scores. Okay. So these are the live scores API we have. I've not really seen La Liga, Rugby. Okay. So now we need to look for the API that we want to work with here. Let's check for XRapid. So you can see there are a bunch of APIs over here. You can just look for something that you would like. I think there's even flights in this. I'm supposed to even make us do a tutorial on that very soon. Okay, so I cannot find the API I want. API football. Okay, to the API I need here. The football API. Live score, live matches, fixtures, you name it. But we're only going to deal with live scores for now. So that's just what we want. Now that we've gotten here, it's still loading. So let's just allow that to load a bit. Okay, so it has loaded. Now we want the live scores. So we're going to look for live scores here. We have odds, standard statistics, players, lineup, trophies, odds in place, transfer, top scorers, injuries, coaches. Okay. Fixtures. Okay, we want fixtures. One fixtures, but one live. Okay, see it here. Fixtures in progress, live score. So that's what we want. And now that we've selected that, we can come over here and do some additional settings. We will not be doing any additional settings. We just want all the live matches going on in the world. So we're going to use, we want the code in JavaScript, fetch, and then we're going to copy this code. Now that we've copied this code, we're going to come over to our code here. We're going to create a new folder, and we're going to create that folder as lib. Now that we've created that folder, we're going to create a new file there. And the file is going to be fetch data.js. All right, so now in fetch data.js, we're going to export constant fetch fixtures. And this is going to be async function. And then we're going to paste this. And in our fetch, we're going to say constant results equals to fetch. Here is the response we're going to get, and we want to return the response. Okay, we need to make this like a function. All right, then down here we're going to say return results. All right, so now that we've gotten the function to fetch all the live matches, we're going to go to our app.js. We're going to come here and we're going to say use effects. We're also going to come here, we're going to say constant fetch data. Going to async. And we're going to say constant fixtures equals to await fetch fixtures. So just import this from our lib fetch data file. All right, so once we get that, we're going to say console.log our fixtures. And then now use effect, we're going to say fetch data. All right, so we're going to come back to our React application. We're going to inspect. We're going to come over to our console, and you can see it says you are not subscribed. Why? Why are we not subscribed, people? Too many requests. You are not subscribed to this API. Okay, so I had to create a new account. I was working on this code, but my free pass expired and it wasn't allowed. So I'm going to use but once you're creating a new account, the key they should give you should be a key that should be able to make requests for the first time. So you're not going to have issue with that. But as for me, that has been querying their servers like crazy, I've had to create multiple accounts just to get a new free API key. So I got this one. Let's see if it will work for me here. Let's just clear, refresh. Okay, so you can see we have fetched our array of matches. So we can see here errors none and get fixtures. Our response is giving me 11 fixtures that are going on. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy this code so that we're going to copy the objects. We're going to come back here. We're going to come to lib folder. We create a new file. We're going to call it dummy data. So we're going to work with this data for a start because we don't want to be querying their servers continuously. You know, it's a free API key that we have. If we pay for it, then you can query it all the time. But as we're not paying for it, let's just copy what we get and then work with it. And then after a while, we can now like pay for it, or you can do whatever you want to do from there. So in our response, we got about 10 fixtures, but I want it to be a little bit more so that we can have more to work with. So I'm going to copy the one that I was working on previously, but you can just copy the one that you have. It doesn't matter. So you come over here, you paste your object inside. So you can see the data I have here is much. So it's going to be a lot of data we can work with. Make sure it's like this get parameter, all the things should be inside a curly bracket like this. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to come to our app.js. We're going to stop fetching this data. We're going to come back to this once we are done, and we can fetch freely then. But for now, I'm going to import the data from our lib folder and loading data. All right, so now that we're importing that data, we're going to first check if that data is coming out the way we want. Okay, so yes, it is coming exactly the way we want. And you can see here we have 64 results, because this is where the fixtures are. You can see we have the fixture, we have the teams, we have the score, and good stuff like that. So now that we're done with that, we want to create a table here, a table that is going to show all these fixtures at once. Okay, so we're going to come to our components and we're going to create a file. We're going to say table.js. Okay, now that we have our table.js, we're going to RFC. What needed this table. Now in our table, we're just going to say data. Let's leave that there. Then we're going to come back to our app.js. We're going to import that table here and say table. So I've imported it from here. Then we're going to come here and say data equals to data. So we're going to pass this data into here as a prop. So we're going to come back to our table and we're going to get that prop from here. Say data. Okay, so now that we've gotten the data that we need to map through this entire array. So what are we going to do first of all? We're going to come down here. We're going to say data dot now. How does this array come in? This is our object. We're going to say, and this is the data. So we're going to say data dot response, because it's inside this response we have all the list of matches. So we have to say the data dot the response. So when we come back to our code, we're going to fetch the data dot response dot. We're going to map through all of them. We're going to call each one a fixture. And we're going to now say this, and we're going to say going to create as a div. And just to see what we're getting, we're going to say fixture dot. Let's come back here. So now I'm mapping through this, so we can call it by fixture dot themes dot home dot name. Okay, let's try that. Fixture dot themes dot home dot name. Okay, so now these are all the home themes. You can see it is looping through that array very, very effectively. Now we need to style this a bit to look fresh. So we're going to come here. We're going to come to our div, the main div that is containing everything. We're going to say bg. We're going to say class name, and you say bg with the help of Tailwindcss. For 100, we're going to say grid equals 1. I'm going to say divide y. I'm going to say the text needs to be black. I'm going to save. Let's come back to our code. As you can see, we have underlines here dividing all the information we need. Now we need to style. We need to make this result look more presentable to people that are viewing it, obviously. So we're going to come back here. We're going to say in this our div with the class name. Now we want the background to be white, because that gray was not really looking very presentable. Now I want the padding on the top and the bottom of 2. Just check. So you can see it's much neater now. There's a little bit of padding up here and down here. All right, so now that we're done, let's also delete this. We'll come back to this for a second. Now we want to show the league name of it. So we're going to say div line center. We're going to say image source down. In our data here, we have the league. We have the league logo, and we also have the league name. Now we want to show a little logo of the league, and they want to show the name of the league. So we're going to come back. We're going to come here, and how do we get that? We're going to say fixture dot league dot logo, and I'm going to say width of 25. We're going to give it alt equals to, we want it to be the fixture dot league dot name. Okay, now I'm going to close this, and here we're also going to say fixture dot league dot name. Let's go back to our code. Okay, so you can see we have the little logo of the league and the name of the league. Now we also need to also display the teams, obviously. So before we do that, we want to show the status of the match. For example, let me show you guys. Over here, in every match, there's in the status, status is the league, the fixture status, and you can see here the fixture status. We have the first half or the second half, or we have the short form 1H. Okay, so we want to show, after you want to show whether it's the first half or it's the second half that the team is currently in. So we'll now say div class name. We have text center. Then we're going to say fixture dot fix. It shows the status dot long. Okay. So we can see first half. So if they're in the second half, it will show they're in the second half. You can see here, they are all in the second half. So we'll go back. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to display the teams and the scoreline. So we're going to say div class name, width should be full, should be flex, and there should be padding all around. It's 1. Give that a little bit of space. We're also going to say div class name. We want the width to just be 10%. And we're going to say align in the center. Then we're going to say image source, the fixture dot the teams. Let me show you. So if you say the fixture dot the teams, so now in the teams we have the away team, we have their name, we have their logo. On the home side, we have their name, we have their logo. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll come back here. Where do we stop? We stopped over here. So we have the teams dot home, because it's the home side that will be the first one to show. Home dot logo on the right, is this right hand side? No, the left hand side. Starting from this side will be the home team, and this other side will be the away team. So logo, weights 30, and then in alt, fixture dot teams dot home dot name. I just want to copy this, and then we'll just type it out again. Don't worry. So we have another div with the class name, the width 32%, the text to be on the right hand side, fixture dot teams dot home dot name. Okay, now we're done with the home team and their name. Now we need to show the score line. So div class name, we have the width should be 16%. Text length. Okay, and then we have, let's check our code again. We can see the score. We have the teams. Okay, here the goals, the home and the away. That's what we want to do. So we have the fixture dot schools dot home, the space, and then the fixture schools away. Okay, so now we're going to come now. We're going to copy this, put it here, but this time around we want it to float left, and it needs to be the away. Okay, so now that that is done, come down. We're going to copy this, paste it here, and here will be away. Here will be away. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Home team, away team, home team, away team, scoreline here, scoreline there, and you can see our code is looking very, very neat, very, very presentable so far. Now we also need to add the time, like how many minutes has gone by in the match, so that people know that okay, they're on the 15th minute or they're in the 2nd minute. Which one is it? Okay, so I'm going to come down here. I like to give myself a little space to work with whenever I'm coding this thing. So we're going to say div class name. Let's say text center. Let's text green 600. And in over here we have the fixture status elapsed. This will show the time in which we're in. So we're just going to come back here and say fixture dot status dot elapse. Okay, so you can see the minutes now. 17th. We need to add a little bit of over here. Okay, let's see. All right, so you can see 15 minutes, 45 minutes, all set to go, neat and clean. Now, if someone comes here and they click, what happens? They need to click on this and say, let it take them to their individual page so they can see more details on more events. Because here in our code we have events. That means gold or red card or yellow card or anything, events that have happened during the match. The user needs to also see those information. So what we're going to do, we're going to install React Router. Now this is going to be like a separate whole video, but it's still going to be part of this video. So let's get to it. Now, React Router. Oh. Yes, much better. All right, now the React Router DOM is what we can use for our client-based routing. It's very, very popular. So we're just going to copy the code to install it. We're going to come back here, Control-C, and to paste this, and we're going to install our React Router. Now, okay, it has already installed, so we're going to npm start. Now, over here in our main page, we need our React Router to be able to take us to the individual page of the fixtures. So we're going to create a new folder, a new file, sorry, and name it fixture.js. And we're going to say RFC. We're just going to change this to capital letter, fixture. All right. So we're going to come back to our app.js, and we need to, in our app.js, we need to import our React Router. Go ahead. So how do we do that? Let's come over here, and we'll come here. We're going to say import browser router from React Router DOM. We're also going to import routes, and we're also going to import routes. All right, so now that we've imported these important items, we're going to come down here. We're going to say browser router. into a route. And we're going to identify our first route. We're going to say the parts of the main page, the elements is going to be our table. Well, let me just come down here and pick this and copy it, cancel, and paste it here. All right, so this is going to be our main page route. Then we're also going to do another one, which is fixture slash. Now, why are we saying slash? We're saying slash because when a user clicks on this, we need it to identify we need to identify this individual match among all this array. How are we going to do that? When we click this, we're going to pass to the next page something like this. It's going to be fixture slash the match ID. Going to be something like this because each of our code here, let me just come down here, has a fixture ID. So we're going to pass this ID here. So when we get to this page, we can take this ID and then filter through this array and select the match that is for us that we want to display on that page for this individual fixture. So now we're going to here, when we're coding it, we're going to have to code it with params. So we're going to say match ID. And here is going to be fixture. So it has imported the fixture from the component. So we're passing that data and we should be good. Let's just say yes here. So if we come here and we click to this page, you can see we have successfully navigated to our fixture page. Now on this fixture page now, we're going to import useParams. We're going to say import useParams. Now this useParams is going to help us to, okay, let's just come here and say constant params equals to useParams. Then here we can just come here and say yes params dot match ID. Now if we come here, you can see this is what we get here. If we change this, okay, sorry, if we change this to 2, you can see it is 2 we get here. So now we've successfully gotten the match ID from our params. Now we also need to link it. This isn't working. Let's go to the navbar just for a second and then link this. But we want to use the link from React Router. So it's much better. Why is it not? What's wrong? What's wrong? What is the error? It's saying okay. This should be true. Sorry. It's the error. What's wrong, my guy? It is no link with. What is it saying? What is it saying? Okay, I don't really know what its issue is, but let's just leave that for now. Link to, okay, I think I've seen what the issue is. Let's just bring it back. Let's say 2. Here we're going to say let's see if this helps. Okay, it's not really helping. So what we're going to do, we're just going to leave it. weight was. All right, so let's just leave it like this. All right, so now that we have our fixture page set up, we need to be able to link from here to that fixture page. So now we need to come back to our table. And where's our table? All right, so we're going to wrap this entire thing with link. Let's see if it will also give us the same error here. Let's hope not. Let us hope not. So we're going to say 2. We're going to say fixtures. Oh no, fixture. Let's say this, and we're going to say fixture dot id. Okay. We're going to give this a key because every map item needs a key. We're still going to use that fixture dot id as our key. Then we're going to close this. Okay, so we're going to save. Okay, so it should be working now. Let's go back. Click on this. Okay. Click on this. Okay. Click on this. Okay. So yes, our stuff is working perfectly now. Now what we are going to do, we want to work on this page to show us all the events and everything going on any match, in a specific match. So what we're going to do, first and foremost, we're going to come back to our table and we're going to copy what we did starting from here. So we're going to copy this and copy to here. Okay. Now, before we will copy this, we're going to get an error, but we're just going to manage with that error for now because we need to filter through the data. So in our app.js, we're passing in the data here. So let's just go back to this fixture and we can get that data by just seeing data here. So here we're using fixture. So let's use that fixture and do what we need to do. So we're going to say constant match ID because that's what we're going to use to filter through the data is params dot match ID. Now let's say constant results equals to data dot response dot filter each match. We're going to say return match dot fixture dot id that matches with match ID, and then we're going to say constant fixture equals to results. Yeah. All right, so as you can see, we get that information here. We need more information than this, so let's come back to our table. What we're going to copy from the beginning here down to here. Copy this to our fixture and come here. We're going to also delete this div. Now, what are we doing here? What we're doing is very simple. We have our data.response, which gives us all the matches that are live. So we want to filter through all the matches by saying for each match, if the match.fixture.id matches the ID we have in our params, please give us that result. And in that result, it will come as an array. That's why we're saying here we want the first thing in that array because it's an array. It's not just it's an array. So we need to pick the first thing from that array, the fixture, and then display it here. The reason we're not getting an error is because there's no async, there's no await. This is just an instant JavaScript runtime result. If not, if we were fetching this, it will give us an error because at first when the React component loads, this fixture will be empty, and then it will take time before it loads. So later on, we're going to create a loading spinner for this, so for it to load for it to show while the data is fetching. So as you can see, we have this. Very nice, very clean. Now we want to talk about our event. So we're going to come down here, over here. We're going to come down. We're going to say div align center. Div align center. Class name. We're going to say grid equals 1 verified y. We're going to say h1 class name bg gray 700 with a padding of 1. We want the text to be gray 300, and I want the text to be extra large. I'm going to say events. Let's check this. Okay, so you can see we have events here. Now, how are we going to get this event? We need to map through all the events we get. For instance, this one doesn't have an event. This doesn't have an event. Okay. Here we have 2 events. We have the first event, which is a goal. It was scored on 2nd minute by a player, which names are not provided, and the assist was also not given. But as you can see here, the second event was also a normal goal. The player name was not given as well. But that isn't important. All we know that we need to map through this event to show the user what is going on during the match, obviously. So now we go back and no. Okay, JSON. Where are we? Okay, yeah, fixture. Now we go back, we come here, and now we're going to map through all this data. So we want to call here. We're going to say if there's nothing in our fixture.event, right? Just don't do anything, just show no. But if there's something there, we're going to say fixture.events.map. So if there's nothing there, don't do anything. But if there's something there, let us get cracking. I'm going to say div class name of p5. We're going to say the key will be the event.team.id. This is really no unique value, but we're just going to manage with it now. So now we also want to say if this event type is a goal, let there be an image of a soccer ball. So you can see a goal. You understand? You visualize that yes, it was a goal. So now we need to also get a image. So we're going to come over here to our source. We're going to create a new folder called assets. That assets, we're going to create a folder, say images. And in that images, we're going to get a file which I already have here, which is just a soccer ball. You can use anything you want. We're going to go to the top of our code to call that soccer ball. So soccer ball, come here. Ball image. File. Assets. Images. 1 png. All right, so now that we're calling the soccer ball, we're going to come back down here. So we want to check, we want to say if the event dot type is equal to goal, right? If it's equal to goal, we want to just display a small ball, just a tiny ball. Image source, ball image, width 15, alt goal. Okay, so now that we have this, we just want to show this in case it's a goal. You understand? Well, if it's not a goal, we want to show div class name. Badge. Let's go to DaisyUI. Come over here. We have data display, badge. So we want something like this. So we're going to come and copy this secondary. So once we copy that, we'll come back to our code. Here, I'll just cancel what I was typing and put this. But here, we have to show the event dot type. Let's save this. Okay. All right. So now that we're done with that, we want to show the player name, the person that's either scored the goal or got the card, event.player.name. Now we also want to show the team at which they represent, so that we know which player from which team was the player that scored the goal. You understand? Very easy. So let's say event.team.name. So let's check our code here. So here we don't have any goals. So we're going to go back and look for a match that there are a lot of goals. Why are people hardly scoring goals? Okay. Okay. Over here we can see substitution. Let's go back to our code. We need a little bit of space here. So let's just come here into this. All right, so substitution goal. You can see our goal symbol here. Substitution goal. I see a match with like 5-1, or was it like say 5-1 here? That match is for sure going to have a lot of events here. 5-1. So you can see goals, card. This guy got the card, plays for Sunderland. This guy's got the goal, plays for Newcastle United. So all that is good. Now we also want to show the details of the match. For example, the stadium at which this match is played, the full-time result, the halftime result, the full-time result, the extra time result. I want to show each of them. So we're going to come back. Okay, so now that I want to show the scoreline, we want to know what exactly is going on in this match. For example, well, how many goals were scored during the first half? How many goals were scored during the second half? How many goals during extra time? How many goals were scored during the penalties? We want to know all that information. So we're just going to say div. No, let's just go up. We're going to copy this. Copy. Let's paste it here and close the div. I'm going to name this score. All right, so now that we've named that score, we're just going to come down here. We're going to see div class name. We're going to see padding 2. Let's see first half BR just a break line. We're going to say fixture dot score dot half time dot on. Okay, so we're going to copy this. Now this time around we're going to do something different, because we know that if the match is live, surely there must be a first half going on, you understand? But that doesn't not necessarily mean the full time will be there. So sometimes if we are getting this code, this this object from our API, there may be nothing in the, let's go there. What we have score. So we can see we have full time, half time, extra time. Now we don't want to show anything if full time has not reached. We don't want to show anything if extra time has not reached. We want to only show them if full time has elapsed and there we have score lines for the full time. If not, we don't want to show anything there because here we already have the score. Let me. I was wondering why that was like that. So here's 1, 2. Okay, first half 1, 2. So we don't want to show too much, like in case nothing actually happened and the full time has not reached, we don't want to show anything. So what we're going to do, we're going to come here, we're going to say fixture.score.fulltime.form. If it has actually happened, we're going to copy this, paste this here. We're going to say full time. And we're going to come here, we're going to say not half time. Full. Say here. Full. Else, if this has happened, just say no. And we're going to repeat that for the extra time. Extra time. So come here. Okay. Also going to touch this. Let's say penalties. Penalty. Okay, so it will only show if the match has reached full-time conclusion or extra time conclusion. Now we also want to show the match details of the match. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to copy this, come down, paste this, we're going to say match details. All right, so in our match details, we'll come here, we'll start with div class name, let's say P2, which is stadium. We can access the stadium by saying fixture.fixture.venue.name. Well, I'll just type in, I was even saying what I was typing, fixture.venue.name. All right, so we have this. We're going to just double this. We're going to say country. We're going to say fixture.rank the country. The next one is the round that they are currently in. So instead of putting anything here, we're just saying fixture.league.round. Okay. Then here we want this season. Which season are we currently in? League.season. And then we'll just delete this one. Okay, and then also put a div. All right. So, all right, match details, the stadium, the country, this is World Club Friendlies and 2013 season. So you come back to our main page. As you can see, our application is looking neat and tidy. Now we want to do we want this to be in mobile view most of the time, you know, and when it's in desktop, it will show the Cristiano Ronaldo and also Lionel Messi background. So what we're going to do, we're going to come to our app.js, and we're going to work on this particular place. We're going to say width, full, medium. The width should be 700px. And if it's a large screen, the width should be 800px. Margin also. Okay. Let's look at it. So you can see it is now staying in one place. So you can see. But we also want to put something in the background. Now, I already have what I want to put in the background. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. I need to get the image though. Have I gotten the image? It's no. All right. So let's get this image. We're going to put the image here. See my image here, Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo is the GOAT, by the way. No questions asked. So we're going to come to our index CSS. We have the body tag here. So we're just going to come over here. I'm going to say background image. Say URL. Because it's in our main folder, it's in the same folder here. .png. Background repeat. Say no repeats, and background attachments. Say fixed. Let's say background size. Let's say cover. Alright, so we've done that. Let's check our code. We can see the Ronaldo Messi effect. I cut out the screen, but I've shown you guys in the main page, so I don't think you really need to bother with that. As you can see, our application is looking very, very smooth. Once we peak, all right, so we need to go back. We need to go back. So let's go back. Let's go to our fixture. The background here is white, but let's make the peach. Let's go back. All right. So you can see first half score, stadium, the round. Everything is looking neat and tidy. Just a really, really cool application for live scores. So we're also going to connect this to be live, but we also need to be careful with that, because if we refresh it too much, it's going to stop us, and then we need to create a new account. So we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to work with we're probably going to work with dummy data. Maybe at the end we will now do async await and then be fetching the data live. Also, we are going to, I forgot, we're going to also connect this with Flutter Wave, so that you can also get the odds once you pay. So class name and text center. Button class name 18 white. Pay for live odds. Okay, let's check that. Okay, now we want this to be the entire screen. I don't really like it. I'm just being like part screen like this. So we're going to come up. We're going to come here. I'm going to say H screen. All right, so we're good to go. It's looking neat and tidy. All right, so in our application right now, everything is looking neat. But in every live score application, we usually have like a refresh icon somewhere where we can refresh it to be to give us the latest information available at that time. And in our code here, we're just using dummy data. So we want to fetch this data now. We don't want to use this dummy data. We want to have data that we fetch. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a fixture use state. We're going to say use states. Okay, so want to not yet. Fixtures. We want to fetch the fixtures, that's for sure. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, no, let's just leave this. Let's make this. And let's highlight all of this. Instead of console log fixtures, let us let's bring these results. Okay, and now let us set fixtures to be results. All right, so and down here, instead of passing data, we're going to pass in the result, the fixtures. Here, so we're going to do the same thing. And let's see how that works. All right, so now I'm getting error. And I'm very sure if you are an experienced React developer, you know why we're getting error. We're getting the error because it can't read anything. It can't read any data here because this is being fetched. The data for these fixtures is being fetched. So while that is being fetched and the React component loads, there's nothing inside here. And because there's nothing inside here, it's reading it as undefined. Now, how can we solve that problem? Let's go back to here. Are we fetching the data? I think it's supposed to be fetched after a while, but it's not really being fetched. So let's come back here. What can we do to prevent this? We can simply prevent this by doing an if check. What we're going to do, we're going to go over to Material UI. And get started. We're going to look for a component like a progress. Exactly, progress. So we're going to show this loading spinner while the information is being fetched. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down here. Let's highlight this for now because we don't want it to constantly be fetching and our API call to reach its limits because we're currently using the free version. So we're going to say fixtures.length is 0. Through P, I will say loaded. Because we want the navbar to still show, we just want only this React router element to not show while our API call is still loading. So let's refresh this. All right, so it's not showing what is our issue here. Undefined median length. Okay. We're going to then come up here. I'm going to put this. All right, see our loading here. So the data is being loaded. And we're not fetching any data. Why is that? This is just loading. It's not going through. It's not being fetched. Okay, that's because here has been highlighted. Sorry, don't mind me. So let's reload that. And boom, this is currently the only match. Let's cancel this. All right. What's the problem? Let's refresh this. We need map. It's showing an error on the file with the length. So here, instead of this, let's go. Sorry, my phone is making noise. All right, let's go. If there's nothing in fixtures, okay, it's loading, but the fetch API is, I think, is the one that is showing the error. Yeah, saying reading properties of undefined leading map. Just nothing in fixtures. Let's change this to length. Let's change back to length. It's not supposed to render the table as long as it's empty. Okay, maybe the match is not going on again. So let's put this as data and see. Okay. Still having the same issue. Map at table. Oh, it's sorry, not fixture app. Set fixtures, results, async, await, data. Why are we getting an error with this? Okay. See, once it loads, it now has an issue. Fetch data. Constant fetch data. Async, we'll get the results, set fixtures at the results. What could be going on here that is making it look for having an issue with map, with data, table. It's just okay. Let's reload this and see if we still get error. All right, so I think that's fixed. All right, so this is the only match going on. So because we have data placed here, that's why it's showing us that at first. But let's go and delete this and see what happens. Okay, let's make it an array here because we're using .NET. Okay, so you can see it was loading and then it showed us this, which is perfect. But for now, we know that works. We know that is fine. Let's check. Okay. Everything is working A-okay now. You can see the events of each match, of the match. If we go back here, it was showing us a loading. Then it's got, so what we're going to come here and do, we need to do a bit of padding at the bottom. Padding bottom 10. We will design the footer and put down here. I think that will look much better than this. So we know that is okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to just highlight this because we don't want to be running our API call request. So we're just going to leave it as data here. If we refresh, because it's instant, we won't see the loading spinner. But I want us to see the loading spinner. Okay, let's put this not. Let's see that loading. The feature the length is less than or greater than 0 here. Let's be greater. And the REST application is not responding to any of our calls. It's not responding to these changes. Okay, what we'll do, we're going to end it and we're going to start it again. Just edit and start it again and see it from there. All right. All right, it's still not showing us the loading spinner. We were saying features.length is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, it shows loading. Why isn't it going? All right, anyways, let's just leave that for now. Let's come over and get this circular spinner here. We want to copy this. Come up here, paste it. Come back, take this, copy this, come back here. Come to our loading spinner here. Don't say div. All right. Class name, height of the string, and we're going to say bg white. Make should be full. 6 center. Padding should be 10. And we're going to delete this. Okay. So our loading spinner is intact. But still we're not getting anything from it. So we'll just put it here. Okay. It's because it's always set to data instantly. So we're not going to even see. Okay. This is our loading spinner here. You see, looks really nice and clean. All right. So refresh. And boom. Now we want to create a refresh button down here. We want that button for users to click it and the entire page will refresh so that they can see the latest score automatically. So what we're then going to do is that we're going to come here, going to create a button. We're going to say class name, btn from DaisyUI. We're going to say fixed because we want it to be fixed at the bottom of the screen and from the right hand side. So I want a z index of 40 so it shows on top of everything. Refresh. Okay, see our button here. If we come to smaller screen, all right, we can see here, nice and clean. So let's go back. We're going to create a new function. We're going to say constant refresh. Window dot location dot reload. I want to set this as true. All right, so we're going to from here, we're going to say on click. I'm going to say it's refresh. Constant declarations must be all right. So we have that set. Let's come back. Let's click our button and you can see our page is reloading and it was refreshed, which is perfect for us. And this applies to everywhere the user goes to. Every place he goes to, that page will be refreshed so you can see the latest and live data from that place. So come back here, Now we want to do more in our application. We want to do different things, like we want to do the live scores, we want to do upcoming fixtures, we want to do odds, we want to do results of previous matches that have taken place. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to our DaisyUI. I'm going to get a new navbar, because this navbar we have here is a bit limited. It's just showing only this. We want a navbar that has other options as well. So we're going to come down, we're going to go back to navbar. Okay, so we will pick this one. As you can see, we have different items here. It's looking nice and neat, and then when it's on bigger display, it will show it like this, which is what we want. So we're going to take the JSX, we're going to copy this code. We need to come over to our navbar here. Let's delete all this. And I've edited it a bit, so I'm just going to paste that. Okay, let me just paste this one. Okay, over here we have, now we'll come to our React application. You can see it, so we need to edit the theme again. Come over here, see data theme equals to dark. All right, this is okay. I will come back. Where is that DaisyUI? So we want to change this back to Live-Scores. Want to make a F tag. So delete this. Then I want to come in here. I want to delete all of this. I want to name this parent. I'm missing the parent here. I want to name this as fixtures. I want to name this this way. Delete this. I want to name these here as results. I want to name these here as odds. I want to delete this. I want this here. Also here, we want to change this to odds. Delete this. Delete this. Change this. I'll change this to results. Okay. So we have results, fixtures, odds, and then when the screen is a bit smaller, we have here results, fixtures, odds. Perfect. We have a refresh here. Okay. So it is looking more neat now, and much better. Well, we want to make some little changes in this application here. For example, these fixtures. Let me go over it again. So we have the name of the league, winning logo. We have here the elapsed time in the events. Okay, for every goal scored, we also want to show the time at which the goal was scored. So we're going to come to our fixture. And over here, we have event name. Here, we want to display the image. We don't want to display the team name. We just want to display the team image. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete all of this. Logo. So we want to show the team that scored rather than showing their name. I think that would just their logo will be much better. And then we also want to show the time at which they scored the goal. I want this text to be green. We want this to be the event. All right. So you see the time here. Now you want the template literal. Okay. So you can see the events. With this player, we don't have his name here. Let's go to another this team match. So you can see the player here, the team that he plays for. Let's see how it looks with a bunch of more information. Here we don't also have the player names. All right, so here this player plays for this team, and this is the time and switch is called. So I think that for the individual events. The name key, we have key here, events. Okay. Everything is looking neat here. Okay. All right, so our application is looking good. Yeah, though, we should come over to the talk and put changes HTML and make it padding button to be 10. Okay. Also, let's go and add footer. Let's add a footer. So components, we're going to create a footer. Put JS to RFC. Come back to application, go to here, and come over to footer. Okay, so footer here. Which one do you want to use? We want something simple. I think this one is nice. Not so much information. Okay, let's use this. Let's copy this. Go back here. Change this div to just like this. Copyright otherwise reserved by those Live-Scores Limited. All right. So we also need to go to our app, and we're going to put it under here. I'll just say footer. All right, so let's check the application. So you can see our footer, but the theme needs to be touched. So we're going to go back to the footer. Come here. I'm going to say that's our theme. Dark. Okay. Why do we have this extra space here? I don't like that. Let's go back to our app.js. We put a margin. I put a padding for the bottom. Let's change this to margin. Okay, let's just delete this. Okay, so that's much better. Neat. Look at how cute this looks. Live-Scores Limited. Let's check if we have other. Okay, no, this one is okay like this. So as you can see, our application is looking good and neat. The only thing we can do is that over here in our app, if we want it to be live, we just uncomment this and remove this data from here, and it will be live. So let's even do that and see. Okay, so you can see so this match going on. And so our loading spinner, and then we just click and it loads. So everything is good. We also need to put the loading spinner in the fixture. Oh, I forgot save, because we were just getting the data. We need to also check if that data is okay. No, If we're checking over here, then surely the data has passed. If that element can be seen, it means the data has been passed. Because over here we say if there's nothing in these fixtures, don't pass it, just pass this circular. Then when we get something in the fixtures, then you can now show the user other elements of the site. So that loading takes care of everything for us. Our refresh is a-okay. So I think we are good to go. Let me come back here and change it to data. So I will make a separate video now on okay. I will make a separate video on us adding Flutter Wave to this application. Flutter Wave payments, RNSA payments will be on this application. And then I'll also make Live-Scores 2.0 video where we're going to add odds, we're going to add results, and we're going to add fixtures to this application. I'll see if I can get the RapidAPI, maybe like a 1 month free trial, because I don't know their card system. I will check their payments, their pricing system, if they will allow me for like, okay, we do have the pre-match odds here. Okay, we have that basic, though I haven't subscribed yet, so let me see if my card will go. If it doesn't go, then I don't know. I may look for a different API and then create a 2.0 version of this website, which will have the fixtures, the results, and the odds and everything good. Okay, so that will be all for these videos. I say video. Make sure you subscribe and leave a like in the comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you.